Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in today's video, we are going to be taking on the third EPS optional super boss fight that's unlocked after Chapter 5 of the Future Mythos. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So just like before, you do have to warp to IDA Block L in future L Zion and speak to Caviar, and then just like before, it'll be illustrated with a blue exclamation mark. Curio, Aldo, and Caviar talk about more serious things in regards to the cause of these EPS fights, and after that, we are sent off to Nilva, which is a city in future L Zion, to tackle that boss. So I'm going to stop talking now and let you watch the rest of the introduction in peace, and I'll see you back at the boss fight where I'll discuss the strategy I employed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you a little bit later. Alright, welcome back. So, after some trial and error, I decided to go with a pretty standard Magic Zone team. However, we are featuring a different unit than what I've always used in the past. We are using True Manifest Mighty, and the reason for that is Quadoxin has 13 different HP stoppers. You can see the orbs right there. And basically, you have to punch through each and every one in order to unlock the second and more dangerous phase. And if you don't use a preemptive attack, whichever method you want to use, whether or not you want to use Magic Zone or Pierce, Slash, any of those, I would highly recommend using a preemptive move, because if you attack it and at least bring down the one bar, then you don't face any attacks from the enemy, which is really, really useful. It gives you more hits on the enemy to clear those HP bars to bring it down before it stacks more and more buffs on itself. Keep in mind that if you can see the blue stacks, each and every turn it will stack, and depending on the type of attacks, it'll also shield itself against those attacks, so you are doing less and less damage as the battle goes on. And so really, the whole goal is to get it down within 4 or 5 turns, at least those 13 little bars, and finish it really, really quickly. So like I said, preemptive moves are definitely among the most tried and true strategies, although please let me know in the comments below if you did a non-preemptive move kind of strategy in order to beat this fight. Other than that, you can clearly see that I'm able to blast it down at turn 4 without using the banish move, which is either used from the Curse of Reversion Grasta. The enemy's shield will be so high, being that they have a type shield up, that you're doing 0 damage. And so if you look at my loadout, Myris actually has a really high speed, such that her banish comes before the other unit's move. Now in the case of Mighty, obviously Mighty is still preemptive, and so he acts first, and in that case he didn't do any damage, but banish happens second, and then the attacks from both AS Clark as well as AS Rosetta were able to punch through the bars. Now after those few turns, we now have do or die situation where you have to either bar it down or it'll just kill you right here on the spot. Note that after you have brought down the 13 bars, it actually debuffs you as well as put multiple shields on itself. And the whole point here is to start off the AF with the banish, after which you're just stacking all your buffs and the debuffs on the enemy, and hopefully you have enough DPS to do enough damage to the enemy. If you're wondering why I ended up with this particular rotation at the end, the good thing is the enemy does pretty much all shade attacks, and using Magmar essentially gives everyone a 35% type shield against shade, and if you are Western, i.e. Rosetta, AS, as well as Clark, you get a 70% shield against that. So in combination with the Prayer of Judgment, which is from AS Rosetta, physical 30%, you're essentially protected against most of Quadoxin's moves. It does have a magic type attack, which you saw, well, you didn't see them actually. I tried it with different phases, and I tried non-preemptives, and I just got hit every turn, and just kind of got a little bit annoying where the heal burden on your team became too difficult, such that you're wasting turns while it builds up its stacks of and buffs on itself, such that the fight becomes nearly impossible. Of course, let me know the strategy of what you did to beat the boss. I know that you can use a lot of alternative strategies out there. I'm sure there's a good number of free-to-play strategies as well. And I think one of the common ways to beat it is to use multiple units with end-of-turn attacks. Because if you look at the bar, you don't need a lot of damage to bring down each small bar of the 13 bars. I would say something in the 250,000 damage, probably 220-ish or so. And so if you have like end-of-turn attacks like AS Shani, AS Shannon, AS Victor, Milsha, these are all units you can use to employ on your team. Alright, back to the loadout on my team. ES Molina is a Western unit and holding a lot of Western Grasta to help enhance damage from AS Rosetta as well as AS Clark. Mighty is basically on his own with the True Manifest and standard Grasta, and most of my DPS do have Bullseye Grasta. If you don't have Bullseye Grasta, you may not be able to punch through each of those small HP bars as the fight goes on. Remember, it does build type shields against magic type teams because you're using elemental attacks, and if you use other weapon type attacks, it'll build up slash shields or blood resistance, for example, so on and so forth. So it actually does kind of notice what moves you are using and kind of puts up shields and buffs to protect itself against those attacks. I didn't personally use any other weapon types, but like I said, looking forward to your comments below as to what strategy you used and what teams you used. Now, for your troubles, you do get a Regulator Scorn, which is obviously a personal Grasta for Curio, gives a nice bit of stacks, and also gives the extra 2 turns for his Lunatic, as well as some MP consumption down. Alright, so again, after the fight, just make sure you go back to Caviar and clean things up, and it gives you a little bit of background as to why these are being sent back. I know that we are getting sent these from another time layer. However, the scientist goes more into depth as to why these are happening, and we still do have one more super boss fight after this. Now, one last thing I'd like to note is that each of these super bosses are usually referred to some I guess modern folklore or movie reference. So please let me know in the comments below which one Quadoxin is. I can't think of the movie or the reference offhand, and so I'm looking forward to your comments as to sharing your knowledge as to which one it is. And again, the rest of the video is storyline, so I'm going to stop talking now and let you watch the rest of the video. Peace. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.